door. Oh, my biddies, how are you? I left the door open. It irritates me. I don't want to get up because I'm not really dressed. I have a shirt on. The rest of it, I have shorts on, but they're not like shorts you want to see me in, if you get my drift. Oh, how are you all today? Oh, I just realized I didn't do my reality TV. I didn't bring it up. I gotta start that. Why is nothing where it needs to be right now? Why is there an untitled document in here? There we go. I do have reality TV on. I need to adjust that too. Because I took it out because I didn't think I was going to get it done. And then I got it done. I guess I wasn't as ready as I thought I was. But I was doing well today. Gotta get them hashtags in there, you know. Okay. Now we're all hashtagged up. How are you? How was your weekend? My weekend was busy. I don't even know what I did on Saturday, but I had no time. And I don't even know what I did. I don't think I just sat around all day. I was doing stuff. I was definitely doing stuff. I just don't remember what. House stuff. We went out for a little bit. And we went out for a little bit and then came home and did house stuff. I did clean a lot. I cleaned a lot on Saturday. Sunday we went TV shopping for the basement. We're putting a, if you weren't unaware, we're putting a theater into the basement. Theater room in the basement. It's almost done. We got to get one more panel for the curtains because apparently we needed 4 and not 3. My husband did not calculate correctly, and I don't calculate, so it's all on him. This is his. I can't wait to decorate. I found something in Walmart for $10 that I gotta go get this week for that room. Anything movie related, and then unbeknownst to him, I'm gonna buy me a popcorn maker for down there. I figure if I put it down there, we're not planning on using it like every day, so I put it'll be for like movies, like weekend movies. So I figure if I put it down there, um, I won't use it all the time. But I'm not going to do that until I get rid of the popcorn I have, because I do have a lot of microwave popcorn that needs to be used. One box isn't even open yet, so it's going to be a while before I get my popcorn machine. But I'm going to have my popcorn machine. It kills me. Oh, what else is going on? The kids were cute yesterday, as usual. My husband took them outside over to see the goats. The neighbors have goats, so they go feed them every once in a while. And yes, the neighbors are fine with that. They know we're doing it. Goats will eat everything and anything all the time, so it doesn't matter if you feed them extra. But they went over to feed the goats, and he told them not to do anything cute. He said, and of course, they started doing cute things right away. And then last night we pitched them outside in the evening and made them chase golf balls to wear them out before they went home after dinner. Then we brought them in and had ice cream, and their mom showed up, so we made her ice cream too. She usually turns down food. I have food for her when she comes. She knows there's going to be food. She always eats before she gets here. I don't know why. Like, you've worked all day, you deserve some food. Oh, and this will be the last day for the hair. Tomorrow I'll have a completely different look because I'm getting my hair chopped off tonight. And by chopped off, I mean really chopped off. It'll be like short, like little boy haircut. I always tell her to give me the Rachel Maddow. The Rachel. That Rachel. The other Rachel. I don't like it long in the summer. It irritates me. I can't sleep because my neck has been sweating in bed, even though it's like 66 degrees, and I can't stand it. It's because of the hair. It's because of the hair. Nothing else changed. It's the hair. So, and then I like it warm in the winter, so I can grow it out every year. This is 2 years though, because last year it didn't happen for circumstances beyond my control. Sickness, other people's sickness, things that happened. It was not a good year last year. Last year was not a good year. Other than going to Seattle, last year was not a good year at all. Not at all a good year. It was a terrible year. This year sucked. This year's better, believe it or not. Number one, I didn't get sick. I haven't been sick 5 times so far this year. Only twice, which is a normal amount of illness for winter in Michigan, I believe. So anyway, that happened. The kids are so cute. VW said something in the morning, and I can't remember what it was, but it was like super cute. He was mimicking people. Last year, this time, you couldn't get him to mimic anything. He would not even repeat things. This year, he just blah, 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 blah. And he's not even 3. He's not even 3 yet. It's like, dude, slow down. He's so smart, though. He is so smart. My husband set up some Lincoln Logs in the basement, and they were making little buildings with them. And then he had a crane, a ball on it, probably a Lego crane. Pretty sure it was a Lego crane with a ball on it. So he was doing a wrecking ball thing, but it wasn't really doing that much. So he set it up so that he could stomp on something and it would explode the building. And he was accidentally exploding the building when the crane missed, or when the wrecking ball missed the building. And BW was like, "What's going on here? I don't get it. It's exploding. It's not hitting it." Then he decides it's the wind. He's smart, I'm telling you. He decided the wind was blowing it over. It wasn't Bubba over there hitting at the button and making it go. I don't know how I rigged that up. He's smart that way. I did not get that. I cannot wait until we go over the Seven Little Johnston's wedding, because I have a thing. I have a thing that's been sitting on my desk since I started this show, and I have not read it to you guys, and I need to, because it's hysterical. Not in a good way. Oh. So anyway, let's get into Seven Little Johnston's. This is season 17, episode 7, POV, Now You're Training to Get Chicken. And there was actually chicken training going on, so the for once, the it fits. For once it fits, because a lot of times the episode titles have nothing to do with what's going on in the episode, and it's really annoying me. It really annoys me. Like, TLC, do better. Okay, so we're still a month away from the wedding, and Trent decides that they should do a couples activity of painting each other. Jonah and Alex are a couple, and Emma is going to paint Leighton, and Leighton is not there. I don't know where Leighton is, but she's not there. But so she doesn't get to paint Emma, which I think is BS. She's 2. She can paint. She can finger paint. They could have had her finger paint with them. Trent has another herpes explosion on his lips, and he's calling it sun blisters. But there's no other evidence that he was in the sun. He claims he went fishing and got sunburn on his lips. Like, number one, I've done that, and there was other evidence that I was sunburned. Like last year in Seattle, my whole nose peeled. I got it through a bus window. It wasn't even like I was out in the sun. So now I know when you're on a bus, wear sunscreen. Fun tip, helpful tip, some kind of tip, fun fact. When you're on a bus, wear sunscreen. Just saying. Avoid the whole thing. I haven't been sunburned in forever. So anyway, Trent is nervous about banging Amber, and who can blame him, really? Have you met Amber? Elizabeth watched her wedding dress shopping so badly by waiting so long that they had to go and buy the dress from the store, the rack dress from the store, the display dress everybody's touched. I mean, there's no shame in that if it fits, but that means they're paying for the dress twice, and the alterations will be a nightmare. I pity their seamstress. I really do. Because that's a nightmare. It's a full like length dress for an average height person, and she's got to cut it down to like a 3 foot something person. That's going to be a nightmare. That's a nightmare. I don't even know. I mean, I have ideas of how to do it. I'm not dumb. So the portraits were expectedly horrible. Emma drew Leighton from the top down, but only got as far as her eyes, and she was doing a full body, a full body in the bath. Like she could have, like, had the she had a picture of Leighton in the bath with bubbles and stuff on her. So the bubbles ended up looking like a halo and wings, and but she did the whole body, and like you can't see the bottom of her in the picture at all. So why are you doing that? Why are you not cutting it off at the waist like a normal person? But she only got as far as the eyes, and it's funny. Trent's wasn't actually the worst, but Amber said she looked hollow, so maybe it was the best. Amber included Trent's sun blisters, even though he asked her not to. Uh, like I said, there's no evidence of him otherwise being sunburned, so I don't know why he's lying about that. Alex's was just hilarious. I can't even describe it. It was so funny. Alex's of Jonah. Liz has described Bryce's painting of her as a Lego with Kim Kardashian. She deserves it. Liz didn't even bother with the assignment. She painted a deer decked out in Bryce's hat and sunglasses, but the sunglasses looked like a bra. They were supposedly hanging from his neck. They looked like a bra on a deer. That's what they looked like. Even they called it out. Amber's of Trent was nah at best. And the winner by far was Jonah, who painted a wonderful portrait of Alex. I did not see that coming. So go, Jonah. I will give credit where credit is due. Trent apparently has a business he's calling Baba Golf, where he adapts golf clothes for little people, which is fine. I don't know how much money he's making off of this because he can't pay his taxes, apparently. So he's going to adapt a set for his friend Rance, who plays competitively on an adaptive league. Rance seems like a nice guy. Alex has to do a portrait shoot for class project, so he's using Leighton turning 2 as an excuse to take her photos. It goes badly. It's not on Alex. It goes badly because he has too much help. Amber keeps giving advice. Amber, back off. Let him just take the pictures. He's the one taking the class. Jonah thinks his mom is some kind of portrait expert. She's not. She has a professional photographer there, and she's still giving instructions, and they're letting her. Like, I tell her to back off. Like, I never told my brother-in-law how to take pictures of people. He was a professional, and he knew how to do it. I would never. Trent wants to hang Amber's portrait, and Amber doesn't. Emma wants to throw a surprise bridal shower, even though Liz already threw one for herself. She called it a bachelorette party, but it was a bridal shower. Trent is skeptical that it will be kept a secret from Liz. Then we're going back to the chickens. The chickens are named Kevin, Betty, Donnie, and Fizzy. I find it hilarious because if you remember a few weeks back, WB named one of his chickens Kevin because he names everything Kevin. Everything is named Kevin. If he finds a snake, its name is Kevin. If he finds a fake snake, its name is Kevin. One of the giraffes, we got them little giraffe toys. Little, they're like this big. They're huge, actually. Little, somebody gave it to us. Little safari scene. One of the giraffes is Kevin. So everything's Kevin to him. If they had a new child, if he had a little brother or sister, they would be named Kevin. I find it's hilarious. I think it's from Up, so everything is named Kevin. Trent has come around to the chickens, and he brought home a bigger coop, which Alex Nate called a McMansion. They even had it modified a little bit because I guess Emma's taking care of the chickens. They had it modified a little bit so that she can be easier to get the chicken eggs out. They lowered the nests a little bit for her, which is nice. Amber complains that Kevin crows in the middle of the day, which is perfectly normal rooster behavior in case you're unaware. Roosters crow all day, every day. That's kind of what they do. That's their mission in life, is to crow and maybe fertilize some eggs. Maybe. Amber brings home the tuxes and Trent's does not fit. I don't understand how that can be, how that can be, how fast is he's gaining weight. Alex's is fine. Trent doesn't fit into his, and they just bought it a couple weeks ago. I swear. Not more than 2 months. How did he outfat a tux in 2 months? What's he been eating? So he's going to go on a diet for the wedding so he can fit in his tux that he already bought. This is why you don't buy them. This is why you rent them. What did I say about renting the tuxes when they rented the tuxes? I don't know about Jonah's. Maybe Trent got Jonah's somehow. Maybe that's why it doesn't fit. I don't know. Alex's portraits of Leighton turned out really nice. And of course, Amber had to get on in the action, so he has one for her. Because Amber can't, like, just let him be and do stuff. And he had a silly one of Emma, too. Emma's school project involves the chickens and their behavior. She taught one of them to play the xylophone, which I think is really clever and cute. There was a place we used to visit. It was called Deer Forest. It may or may not still be open. I don't know. I know it was sold a few years ago. Deer Forest, you could go in. They sold food that you could feed the deer, and the deer would come right up to you and eat it out of your hand. It was great. And they had a chicken in a little cage, unfortunately. And if you fed the chicken, it would play the piano for you. They had various little, things from fairy tales sitting up, too. It was a really cute place. Just one of those low-key, like, places you take the kids on vacation type of thing. Amber thinks you can train a chicken to talk. They're not that kind of bird, Amber. They're not songbirds. They go bok, bok, bok. They don't go tweet, tweet, tweet. You can't teach a chicken to talk because they're not that kind of bird. And even then, you have to have a certain species that it can mimic very well. Trent is having issues regarding his mom's care. He has power of attorney over all her things, and that's very stressful. On top of the wedding, his mom is sick and dying, and he has to take care of everything, including the wedding and all of this. Everyone is helping with the wedding projects, except Liz. She's just faking it. Like, Liz, this is your wedding they're doing this for. The least you could do is enter the biggest one. Haul some flagstones, Liz. Give me a break. And then they go to the dress shop to pick up the dress, and they take Amy, their seamstress, with them. And so she's there to measure the dress for operations, and they're telling her how to do her job. They want her to cut through the skirt of the dress so that they can keep the bottom. Like, she would never cut the bottom off, Amber. You do that from the waist. You cut the waist, you trim off what you need at the waist, and you keep the bottom. Even I know this, and I'm an idiot when it comes to alterations. I don't know why she thinks they're gonna cut the bottom of the dress off. That's just dumb. They want her to cut through the skirt and have a seam in the middle of the skirt, right at uh, Liz's knees, right at her knees. That's not how that works. That's why they measure you for these things. It's dumb. The way they're talking about it is just dumb. It irritates me to no end. And next week's looks interesting, but not in a good way. It's going to be really sad. Just warning you now. Next time. I should say next time because it'll probably be next week. Well, it might be Thursday because if I remember correctly, Bailing Out Loud is on Thursday, so next Monday will be the next Bailing Out Loud. Then we got a Plattsville to do, and then we'll get back to the Johnstons. So maybe on Thursday we'll have 7 Little Johnstons again. Catching up. Almost done with this mess. Oh, that's fine. All right. Then we'll get into our Reddit reads. First up is Am I Overreacting? Entitled AIO for kicking my fiance out and calling off the engagement after he demanded to be put on my house deeds, refused a prenup, and has debts. No, especially the debts thing. If he didn't have debts, I would say, yeah, you should put him on the house deed and maybe get a prenup if you feel that you need one. But the fact that he has debts that he's bringing into the marriage, no. I, 32 female, own 2 houses outright. I bought one 5 years ago before we met, inherited one 2 years ago. Both are paid off. I'm financially independent, and those properties are my main security. My fiance is 34 male. We've been together 3 years, engaged 8 months. He moved in with me 2 years ago and lives rent-free. He pays groceries and some utilities, but that's it. He makes about half of what I make. The issue started when we were talking wedding logistics, the house deed thing. The house deed thing. 2, he said if we're getting married, his name should be on my house deeds. It's not fair that I live here and contribute, but I have no ownership. If we're equal partners, we should be equal on paper. To a point, I mean, I think if 2 young people are coming in to a marriage with both of them having some things but not other things and no debt, that would be fair. After a time. After 5 years, maybe. But no, not right off the bat, and no. 3, I said no and offered prenup, keeping the house as a separate property. I asked him to pay a fair market rent if he wants to live here. I think that's silly. If you're married, you shouldn't be paying rent to your spouse. The house comes with the person. If you're both renting, that's a different thing. Or if you're paying a mortgage, that's a different thing. But you're living there free, he should live there free too. 4, he has kids and debts. So that's a different thing. 5, he has 2 kids from a previous marriage. He pays for their private school, and it's a huge financial strain. He asked me to treat them like my kids, and I implied I'd help him cover that marriage. No, they're not her kids. She should not have to. They're not her kids. She should not be covering anything for them. That's on you. Rex. He also told me if he has about $40K in personal debt from an old business that failed. Oh, that's ridiculous. Why did you not file bankruptcy? That's ridiculous. No, I'm not taking on your debt at all. Never. Never, ever, ever am I taking on your debt. I had a little bit of debt when we got married. It was not a lot. It was paid off in a couple months when we both started working. So no, absolutely not. I think it was 6-8 months into our marriage and we paid everything. We paid all, but he had loans too. We were equal, pretty much. We also didn't own, neither of us owned houses. We were poor college kids. When we got married, he was still in college. I was graduated, but I didn't have a great job. But if you have kids from a previous relationship, unless they are no contact with for some reason, with their other parent, no, you should not be taking on any financial, and you should not be treating them like their own children. They already have a mom. They have a mom. She can be a stepmom, she can be a friend, but they have a mom. They have an active mom in different circumstances. 6, his reaction, and 7, he refused to sign a prenup. It means I don't trust him and I'm planning for divorce. He said that asking for rent is insulting and makes him feel like a tenant, not a husband. I agree with that one. He's now saying I'm being greedy and that if I loved him, I wouldn't protect my assets like this. No, she needs to protect her assets because clearly you're overstepping, sir. If she wants to put you on the house, she will do that. You don't get to demand it. If she wants a prenup and you don't, then I guess you're going to break up. I told him I'm not comfortable merging finances or assets when he has debt and won't sign a prenup, and he wants me to take on responsibility for his kids' school costs. I asked him to move out, and I'm calling off the engagement unless he agrees to a prenup. And a lot of people aren't blending their financials like that anymore anyway, even if there's not a previous relationship in the mix. And there should be times when that's okay, and there should be times when mixing is okay, and it's up to both the people to agree on to that. And if one is disagreeing, that doesn't mean they're planning for a divorce. It's stupid. Now he's telling our families I'm cold and using my money to control him. My mom says I'm being too harsh and should work it out. AIO for kicking him out by the end of the week and ending the engagement over this. No. No, he's demanding things he has nothing to demand about. He has no right to demand the things he's demanding. Update. Thank you for everyone who commented. Seriously, reading your replies helped me see this clearly. For context, our dynamic over the 3 years we've been together, he never did any childcare or housework here. I took care of the entire house. He sometimes bought groceries and paid utilities, which I mentioned before, but that was the extent of it. He does make money, but most of it goes towards himself and on his kids' school back in Europe. He doesn't spend much time outside of school because they live with their mom in Europe. He's in Europe, or they're in Europe, and he's here. He's a bad dad. He also has his own assets in Europe. He never wanted to marry me until now. It's obvious because he wants a green card. The irony is he had no problem charging me Airbnb level rent to stay at his place when we visited his country. What the heck is up with that? Why are you doing that? That's just weird. You should not be charging your partner rent for anything ever. If you're both paying rent, otherwise you're just using the other person for money, if you ask me. He can dish it out, but the second I asked for a fair split on the house, we'd live together, I'm the villain. I'm not signing over my safety for someone who's using me for access. I'm single now, and honestly, I feel lighter already. Thanks for keeping me grounded. A deleted person says he's looking for an easy way out of his debts. If I were you, I would end and walk away. As for him not wanting to pay rent because it would make him feel like a tenant, that's BS. It's called paying your fair share. I mean, he should contribute to the expenses for the house, sure. But if she said she owns a house outright, I think it's kind of silly to charge rent for your husband to live in the house that you're a couple. Your husband should not be your tenant, sorry. That's how I feel about that. It's crazy. Okay, well, it says your mother is giving you terrible advice. You kick that man out and let him stay out. Don't give him any excuse to come back to your place. If it's feasible financially, hire a moving company to pack up all of his stuff and drop it off wherever he's staying. Do anything but give over your finances to him. Yeah, don't give over your finances at all. Yam said, I hate people who say prenups are negative. Why do you get insurance if you're a safe driver? In case. There's a reality where it never matters, so why be winging pressed about it and not overreacting? Porky Koala says a prenup isn't for who you marry, it's for who you divorce. Subject spell says my cousin is well off, but her married trust fund girl, whose mom is worth over $1 billion. I'd love to know what his prenup looks like. His mom, my aunt, is a lawyer, and I'm curious if she reviewed it for him, but I don't want to ask. When people have a lot of money, a prenup is automatic. Cousin never said he signed one, but I already know he did because of how much they have. Well, maybe he didn't. Maybe you should trust him that much. A prenup is trust but verify. Like if I get married, if something happens to my husband and I got married to somebody, I would have a prenup. I would have a prenup because we have assets. I have assets. I don't want somebody taking them. And I wouldn't want to be subject to taking somebody else's. It would be a very specific prenup. There would be things. Yeah, if you screw up my marriage, you're going to pay for me. You're going to pay if you screw up. We had nothing, so we didn't need a prenup. Next, we have entitled people entitled Stinky Egg Lady on Flight complained about my non existent music. Okay, so I'm not 100% sure if this fits here, but I'd say so. I just got home from a brutal night of traveling and had such an annoying experience. And all my friends are asleep, so I got a rant. I can appreciate that. I can appreciate that for sure. I had a late night cross country flight, so I took a magnesium pill and put on my noise canceling headphones. So I have a loop of white noise that I listen to when I sleep in general, but especially on planes. So I've got my pillow and eye mask, headphones, a blanket, and so I'm cool, right? Something starts stinking. I peek out, and basically there's a mother and a daughter next to me eating some sort of stinky egg thing out of Tupperware. They called it Tupperware. It's Tupperware. It's peas, not bees, people. P as in peanut, not B as in butter. I was nasty and smelly, but it was fine. Whatever. Let's go to sleep. Also, we have not yet taken off, by the way. I get a sharp jab in my shoulder. It's a flight attendant, and like, yes. And she tells me that my music is too loud and I'm disrupting people. And I'm so confused because I'm not even listening to music. And let me tell you, this woman was very mean straight away. I kind of like, I'm not listening to music, and she claims she can hear blasting. If I could go back in time, I'd have asked her what song, but I kind of stared like a moron because I was so taken aback. The woman next to me has been dead quiet, but starts whispering to the flight attendant, and the flight attendant tells me, "You turn down my music now, or she's moving my seat." That's when I'm like, "Oh, the egg lady probably lied on me to get herself and her kid, or maybe she has someone else she wants to join." I said, "I'll move to another window seat," but no, that wasn't available. I'm like, "Okay, no." This lady was kind of fighting with me about my music, claiming she could hear it when nothing was playing. Then another flight attendant basically shooed her off and apologized, and that was that. But so the stinky egg family can stink up the whole plane, but God forbid I wear headphones. I had not even turned on my white noise yet. I'm grumpy off AF. I'm just baffled at the balls of some people. Also, stinky eggs should be banned from flights. Yes. If it's really stinky, it should be banned from flight. Anything that's really stinky should be, including people. Out of all the places you need to eat an egg salad, you choose an airplane one. How was an egg salad? Somebody said, Molly Star is the top rate comment. They say Tupperware rolling or roll up. Edmund Awesome says, is that the generic name for plastic tubs now? Tiny Sparkly says, some people grow up with regional accents and never see the word Tupperware, so they think it's a B, not a P. I'm not sure if OP is serious, but I've known people who generally thought it was Tupperware. And then they got into the duct tape scenario. Gypsy says, which is not a cool name, by the way. Stinky egg was your annoyingly obnoxious seatmate's first offense, literally and figuratively. Move, hoping to stink you out of your window seat. When that didn't work, she flagged down the flight attendant with her bogus loud music complaint. I think you're absolutely right thinking that she wanted to force you out of her row. Good job not letting her. OP says I didn't even think about that, but that's a good point. Somebody claims that the flight attendant may have been a relative. Available stage says I hate flying these days. My last flight was on SeaTac to LAX. Settle in and kind of curl towards the window with a headset and a pillow. I'm listening to ambient music very, very low. Close my eyes to try and relax. About 20 minutes after the flight takes off, I hear a kerfuffle going on next to me because my music was really low. Lady in the middle seat was next to me talking loudly to the flight attendant about how my music was loud. I'm encroaching in her space. I'm 5'9" and weigh 135 pounds. I was literally laying towards the hull. She made a mention of, can you move him so my husband can sit here? He's disruptive. No, she just wanted her husband next to her. I pull my headset down because now my eyes are on me. Flight attendant says, ma'am, he appears to be in no way pushing into your space. Lady in the middle of the row doubles down. He's being rude. Flight attendant looks at me and says, what's your call kind of vibes? I literally said, move me. She bumped me up a class and got a window seat next to a really chill couple who were on the honeymoon. She got her husband and I got my piece and upgrade. I swear, some people. That's the way to do it. Say, upgrade me. Upgrade me and I'll move. Gladly. Upgrade me for free and I'll move gladly. What is good people? Next we have Murdered by Words. And it is entitled Why America is So Ill-Disposed Toward Train Travel When It's One of the Ways the Nation Was Built. I don't think are we ill-disposed to it, or is it just not available? Because I would take a train. I've taken trains. We took a train to Chicago in 2020. Yeah, during COVID. I took a train during COVID from Michigan to Chicago. From like west of mid-Michigan to Chicago. New York Post posted, could gigantic buses of the future traveling 140 miles per hour fix California's long-distance travel problem? The state is looking at it. Doomer says, that's great. That's a great idea. You could even build special roads for them out of metal connecting major cities. Why are we building gigantic buses that can travel faster when we could just build a train, honestly? And you can put a train over and under and wherever you need it to go. It's silly. Top rated is no freaking clue. Says because barely anyone profits, but the public profits from trains. And he says, off sarcasm, wow. What I meant was that well-managed rail benefits society at large, but the U.S. government generally preserves the status quo rather than acting to our best interest. I don't know. I needed that. Affected Arc is the second top-rated comment. It says they took a decade and a half old Onion Post and ran with it. Takeo Free Housing says, you know, it's bad when old Onion Posts start being more believable than reality. 100%. And my name is Christy. Answers just a short step from idiocracy. We're living in idiocracy. Prove me wrong. One and only Kenobi says, because oil barons must make millions. Yeah, that's the truth right there. Okay, we're still in Bend Bend National Park for our bad reviews. It's specifically the Hot Springs Historic District because Big Bend itself does not have reviews at all. There are all these districts. And this is from World Sprinter in Sedona, Arizona. And it is entitled, Warning Could Be Hazardous to Your Health. Okay, admit I'm not a hot spring junkie. I've traveled the world and been to many. Oh, he is a hot spring junkie. Traveled the world and been to many. It was hands down the worst hot spring I've ever been to. Beware. It is right beside the Rio Grande, reeked of sewage. Was it sewage or was it egg smell? I forgot what that's called. My brain doesn't work anymore. There were what appeared to be pollution detergent-looking bubbles in the water and around the banks. The historic hot pool was encased in cement, was full of muck and mud, and the water was filthy. The only clear spot was where the hot springs came up from the ground. I made the mistake of stepping into the pool and my sandal got stuck in the muck and broke, so I had to limp back to the car with burned feet on a 92-degree day. Why were we going to the hot springs on a hot day? You're supposed to go there when it's cold to get warmed up. Thinking what a fool I was for not realizing how dangerous these polluted waters were before I stuck my freaking foot in. Keep in mind, third world Mexico is right on the other side of the river, and God knows what they are throwing in there. Sir, the hot springs being provided water from the spring, not from the river. You realize this, right? You know how water flow works? Also, you sound racist. I think you have to use your imagination to figure this out. This is a warning. If you have a cut, low immune system, or children with you, please be advised that soaking in this hot spring by the Rio Grande may lead to your demise. That's true for any body of water. Even perfectly clear bodies of water have germs in them, sir. It's a beware thing. Just to smell the stench in the air and you know what I'm talking about. You mean the sulfur? It finally came to me. See, this is how my brain works anymore. It takes a few minutes for the words to come. The sulfur smell is what he's talking about. Sulfur from the hot spring. I didn't feel particularly safe in this park, and I would never consider camping out here. It was a long drive for a very disappointing day. I couldn't get out there fast enough. You sound like a baby. Next, we have Traumatizing Back, entitled Passenger Started Yelling that the bus went the wrong way, then it wasn't. I'm a bus driver, and I usually get just let a few passengers who work themselves up over nothing carry on, as I know they'll exit the bus real soon, and then I'll most likely never see them again. But sometimes, after a long day in rush traffic, I feel like that for my own sanity, I need to end their tantrum, and that's why. When a passenger threw a tantrum about the bus going the wrong way, when in fact they were on the wrong line, I decided to tell them that. Ma'am, you are correct. Line 11 always turns left here, but this is line 22 and it always goes straight. I got on, this happened to me, and I did not throw a fit at the bus driver for it because it was my mistake. I hoped she'd accept this and leave at the next stop, but alas, she kept going on and on, long rant about how this was the worst thing she'd ever experienced. I glanced at her and said, "That makes you very lucky, ma'am. I was stabbed once," and then I just let it hang. As I watched her deflate as my words sunk in. Maybe not very professional, but I admit it felt good. No, you're fine, dude. Divine Apprehension said you probably have the best stories. OP says there, even so I don't think I could tell on Reddit. Oh, love it. Love it. She got what she deserved. Yes, you got on the wrong bus. It's on you, not on the bus driver. Why are you freaking out? Just get off the bus and go back. And get on the right bus. It's not that hard. You could watch back to that specific bus stop and get on the correct bus. Back to the corner. I'm sure there's a bus stop at the corner. You could get on there and go the way you need to go. Or you can walk down to the next one on that route. It's an intersection. Next is from What Should I Do? And is entitled, My Friend is Very Attached and is Creeping Me Out. I met this girl earlier this year as we were in the same physics class. We've hung out at the library after school sometimes. I've caught the train together for fun, taken photos of it together, and now all of a sudden I'm her new bestie. I have a whole Instagram highlight on her page just about me, which is something done when you're really, really, really close to someone. I don't have no interest and no desire. This is why I don't do Instagram. It's weird. She texts me every day on all apps and is constantly stalking my accounts. I know this because when I unfollowed her on one of my accounts, she knew right away. I'm talking like 30 seconds later, and she's also viewing my TikTok profile. When it started getting weird is when she began messaging me on Spotify if I don't respond, making a hangout timetable for us, which is all 5 days of the week, completely disregarding my other friends in my life outside of school. Then the constant wanting to be with me and accusing me of being mad at her if I don't want to talk to her for a day. So you're in a relationship and don't know it. This is her. They really like cookies. I don't know. Their account is like seriously empty. I don't know. Today I didn't go to school because I'm very ill. I told her so. And she texted me in a playful manner. I assumed something about me not showing up to school. I liked the message and went on about my day. I got this message from her 5 to 7 hours after the liked message included in the screenshot. It ticked me all the way off and felt very weird. And this is what it was. It says, "While I miss you," and you leave me on red. Didn't leave you on red. He liked it. We have an update. This is an hour after making the post. I told her how I felt, including what I was looking for in a friendship and the stuff that made me feel uncomfortable. She agreed and apologized and said she'll take down the highlights and said, "I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Not I'm sorry. I'm sorry." She said that she can definitely set boundaries and we're all good. Not gonna lie, the way these comments explained her, I genuinely thought she would rock my crap, but she's very calm. Edit 2, 7 hours approximately after the post, I made the decision not to block her, as I don't know how she would react, and I'm choosing the path slowly to slip away. I'm also going to be moving schools by the end of this term, which really helps. So far, she's taken down the highlights and hasn't texted me since. If she crosses boundaries, I will involve an adult as we're both minors. Edit 3, 3 days after post, she doesn't get it. She sent me happy birthday, happy National Best Friend Day, TikTok, and another one along the lines of, "If I could fly, I would fly straight to you, release me." I unfollowed her on all apps and will be completely avoiding her. She was too nice and unserious about this. I was too nice and unserious about this. She's in a relationship and you're not. Chosen Bond says, "Unfortunately, there's no nice, easy way around this. You need to say to her, look, I'm happy to be friends, but you're being incredibly intense and it's very overwhelming. I have a life outside of you and I'm not available at all times to interact with you online or hang out with you. I hope that's okay. If she reacts negatively and gets mean or violent, then talk to someone at school immediately. Also, let your other friends know that they can help you or just gather around you if needs be. There's every chance she might back off either because she didn't realize she was being intense or she's embarrassed about being called out on it. In the meantime, don't reply to her messages other than when you want to. Set some boundaries. Hopes it all works out." He says, OP says, she was really calm and accepting, and an aromatic biscotti answers, "Please, please, please do not let your guard down just because she reacted positively at first. This is setting off all my creepometers, and I do have a history with creeps. I was stalked at first, they were okay and probably embarrassed and trying to save face, but after that, they escalated hella fast. Just be careful. For your sake, I hope she leaves you alone now." I hope so too. Halfway throwaway says, "It sounds like she's just a little lonely, probably insecure and being overzealous to compensate." There are people who are just so happy to have one friend that they take it way too far, and you need to tell them to back off or stop being. Usually, have to stop being friends with them because they will like just climb onto you like a parasite. To be honest, I used to be that way when I first started being allowed out of the house as a teen, although definitely not this bad. This is pretty creepy, to be fair. In the way of sparing feelings, I know you said you want to be blunt with her, not about not being her best friend, but you could maybe say something about being uncomfortable. There's anything that makes her hard to be friends with other than being a bit obsessive. If not, maybe you could express that you want to be more excited to hang out if she didn't push so hard. Ghosting her or totally breaking off friendship can cause a lot of damage. It's not going to help her become a better person or friend. There's no reason to hurt her. If she reacts badly, then you can move knowing you did your best to be kind. OP tried that, as we know. Amy Apocalypse says, "Town like borderline personality disorder. Seriously, someone who, sincerely, someone who no longer meets the criteria." Legal Mood says, "Co-signed by someone who is currently stable." I didn't know that about BPD. That's good to know. Next, we have malicious compliance, and it is entitled "Don't Microwave My Muffin." Why not? Warm muffins are delicious, and sometimes they need to be reheated. Hi, all. Long-time lurker. I've been sitting on this story for years. Once upon a time, I worked at Wendy's back in high school. At the time, they just started to experiment with breakfast foods like coffee and muffins. Muffins came frozen at the time. The way to prepare them was to put them in the microwave for about 30 seconds. It's a regular morning shift, and this Karen, who had already ordered, comes back to the counter saying, "This muffin is too hot. I want one that's not heated up." "I'm sorry, ma'am, but we have to microwave them because they come in frozen." "I don't care. I want a muffin that wasn't put in the microwave." In a classic move, she turns around and goes back to her table. I could be mistaken since this happened so long ago, but I think the conversation went longer than that. And there was another coworker there to back me up on telling this lady where the muffins were frozen. I brought her the muffin. It's cold as ice, hard as a rock. You couldn't even peel the paper off because it was all frozen together. I set the muffin down on the plate by itself in front of the lady and her three friends and said, in my best customer service was, "Here's your muffin that has not been put in the microwave, just like you ordered." Look of defeat on her face before I turned away around and walked away. My regret is not waiting longer to see more of the aftermath. I wish I could have seen her friends laughing at her. The look of disappointment as she tries to bite into the frozen baked good. But the cool guys never turn around to look back at the explosion when they're walking away from it. That and being a little timid teenager I was, I went back to the hide the counter before she had a chance to rage at me for another incoherently temperatured muffin. Honestly, just wait a few minutes and the muffin will cool down. It's not that big a deal, lady. But you got for your frozen muffin. I hope you're happy. When I went to clean that table off, the muffin was still there, wrapped, half torn off, a piece missing, like she tried to tear it with her fingers. A small packet of margarine beside it, open but untouched. In the amount of time for her to complain and get her new muffin, the original muffin would have still been cooled off to eat. But instead, this lady ends up wasting two muffins and her own energy, her own money. Edit to say that's all that happened in the late 90s, so my memory is a bit fuzzy. I had to bring the muffin out on something, so I assume it was a paper plate. It was probably a napkin. Real Ultimate Papo says, sometimes malicious compliant is best served ice cold. Kilo Yankee Jelly answers, she's as cold as ice, willing to sacrifice muffins. Wonderful Cup is the second type rate comment, and they say incorrectly temperatured muffin, and it would do brain name. Third type rate comment is from Bakaler, and it's entitled, it says, "That was just ice." Naya says is a fourth type comment, and they say TIL, even the winging muffins come frozen. Of course they do. Otherwise, they would be ruined by the time you get to them, sir. Just saying. That's how things are transported. Fresh costs more. If you want cheap, like fast food, they come frozen. Although Wendy says their burgers do not come frozen. I don't know. Nobody goes apparently going to Wendy's around here because they're all closing. Next, we have Evil Buildings, and it's entitled Drozba Sanatorium in Yalta, Crimea. Do you know anyone who's been in a sanatorium? I have. My mother-in-law was in a sanatorium for a while. It's a cool looking building, to be honest. It's nice that they all have like balconies and stuff at their sanatorium. That's really nice. There they are on the beach at the front of the sanatorium. Do they have to cross a road to get there? Oh, I guess you can go underneath. Cool. That's really nice. Arrhythmus says, looks more fascinating than evil. And Bodacious Friend answers, honestly, I like it. Biopain says, by this sub logic is Russian, so it's evil. That's not cool. The Martini effect. The Martini effect says that they don't put spaces in, so it's kind of hard to read sometimes when they're all run together. At least for me. Do you have this issue? Tell me in the comments, please. The Martini effect says, really great way of giving every resident privacy and a view. Cook Cow says, that's not an evil building, it's just a cog in my master plan. I like it. I think it's really cool. And not all of them have views. Some of them are facing the other way toward trees. There is a road up the top, but there's not a road at the bottom. I don't know what that is. Maybe it's just a drive to get there. It's not really a road, though. Next, we have AITAH. AITAH for refusing to donate a kidney to my stepdad that was raised me and paid for my college. I mean, maybe a little. So my stepdad, 56 male, has severe kidney failure and is looking for a transplant. His immediate family isn't compatible. So my mom told me, 27 male, to get myself tested. I'm wary of the risk of kidney transplant, so I was hoping the whole time I wouldn't be compatible. Why would you just say you're not going to get tested? Or say you got tested and you weren't a match? There are ways to get out of this without looking like an ass. The results came back and turns out I was, even though I'm afraid of the transplant. I was considering for a while because my stepdad is a great guy. He joined my family when I was in high school and took me like his own. He married my mom. He told me he'd take care of my tuition and other living costs for me. I told my mom the results, but specifically asked her to keep it quiet for a few days so I could have some time to process it. So you can process it before you tell your mom, don't. This kid's dumb. At the same time, I was also hoping another donor would come in to help out. Alas, literally the next day, the whole family was texting me and giving me their thanks already. Because you told someone you're dumb. Well, I might be mean today. I might be. Because I've spent the morning arguing with people about trans people. Arguing mean people about trans people this morning. I didn't want to cave into the pressure, so I told him I'll not be doing it. My stepdad was incredibly graceful and said that he understands. The problem is my mom and other family members went absolutely ballistic. What did you think was going to happen, sir? They called me all sorts of names and said they weren't for my stepdad. We'd have been out in the streets. I do think she's right regarding that, but at the same time, I'm not ready to go through the whole operation. Also, it really left a bad taste in my mouth. I thought they just expected me to do it as if it's the easiest thing to do. While they don't have the same pressure put upon them as they're all incompatible. Anyways, I might still go back on my decision. I do have time right now. I'm just not sure. Take your time. Decide. Take your time and decide. This is a major life change for you. You will not be able to do certain things that might damage your kidneys at some time in the future. It's not something to be taken lightly. And these people are taking it very lightly. Oh, he's a match. Automatically going to do it. No. These are decisions like marriage, children, that should be conscious, very well thought out decisions. No, you're not the a-hole for taking your time. Sweet Lobster says, if you are in the U.S., there are donor programs where anyone can give one of their kidneys to a stranger, and in return they receive a voucher to give the person of their choice to bypass the list. So anyone in your family or friend can save him, not solely on your shoulders. Yeah, that's true. She got her first rewards. So she's grateful for the rewards. Pass on the word. If you live in the U.S., don't allow people to demonize others for not donating. If they themselves have two healthy kidneys, judgment is easy, but selfless act is just heroic. Edit 2. If you're curious or have questions, they have a clip. Tilly Bean answers, damn, so anyone in that circle could step up and donate to a stranger and secure a voucher to get the stepdad a matching kidney. That completely removes the incompatibilities of the issue. Yes, it does. Exactly. Estelad says, so I'm a kidney donor. In my experience, people that do these things take the voluntary nature of it extremely serious. If they catch a whiff of coercion or unwillingness, they won't want you. If you want to take the path of least resistance, tell your family, you change your mind, you'll do it. And then when you get to the clinic, tell them you're being pressured. They'll disqualify you and come up with a plausible medical reason why you can't donate. I should say, though, that the risks of donating are never zero, but they are very low. Tomorrow will be 4 years since I donated my kidney, and I genuinely can't tell the difference. This stuff I needed to take care of myself, I'll basically staying healthy and crap, drink a lot of water, watch what I eat, stuff like that. The only real sacrifice is you can't eat ibuprofen like Pez like I used to. It isn't something that you should do if you're 100% you sure you don't want to. I thought oh no, acetaminophen is liver, ibuprofen is kidneys. It isn't something you should do if you're not 100% sure you might want to. And you can wait to do it for any reason or none at all. But if you feel on the fence about it, it might be worth your while to gather some more info. Molly Michelle says, I'm also a donor and I agree with all of this. You can't run another test that disqualifies you without telling your family or anything other than you can no longer get to do it. Blind Mice says, and it's true they run more tests. The first test is just a screen, not a guarantee of being a match, to my knowledge. That's interesting, too. Butterscotch Little is the third top-rated comment, and they say, NTA donating kidney is a huge ask, but what you should have done is told the doctor performing the test that you have reservations. He would then tell everyone that you're not a match, no matter what the results. Yeah. Next, we have Neighbors from Hell, and it's entitled, I Won. I finally played his game, and I won in less than 10 seconds. This sounds juicy. It's also long. I like the long, juicy ones, don't you? This guy has been terrorizing the neighborhood for 15 years. He likes to get wasted and harass people and provoke them. This is his little game. We moved here 6 years ago, and yeah, he did like to roam around drunk AF, but he never focused on anyone. It's sort of aimless collective harassment of the neighborhood until it wasn't. He set his sights on me the week before Halloween. I found an unattended child in my backyard, a child so young he was still wearing diapers. It was puzzling, and I tried to find out where this child came from and who was responsible for the said child, etc. I went outside and there was a woman in scrubs, and I made a connection that this child's definitely her responsibility. I tried to communicate with her. She completely ignored me, and then war broke out. One of her adult sons decided that because I was trying to talk to his mother, that because I'm a race which he decides he doesn't like me and he harasses me. And he has at least once a week, every week, but sometimes 3 times a week since October. I've called the cops many times and they do nothing, which is surprising since I've come to find out he had 7 warrants out for his arrest for being drunk in public, a previous conviction for battery, and a pending charge for another battery, and a petty theft. The list is long. They would never arrest him when they got called out. Super weird. If he has warrants out for his arrest, they should be arresting him for that. They found him, they should arrest him. That's silly. A few weeks ago, he started to harass me again. My husband went outside, and this mofo pulled out a wanging Bowie knife with a 10-inch blade and chased my husband with it. We called the cops again, and they said he's allowed to have a knife. He's allowed to have a knife. He's not allowed to threaten people with it. Come on. What are we even doing here? I've called the cops on this maniac at least 10 times. He's threatened me, stalked me, and tried to rob my Walmart delivery driver. Tried to rob the Walmart delivery driver? Jeez. He's going too far, but the cops do nothing. Who does he know? Who does he know? Is his brother a cop? His uncle? His cousin? Somebody's a cop. His mom? So the last time I called, when he pulled out a knife, I said, so he's allowed to sit in front of my house and scream and yell. So that means I can do the same to him? And the officer was like, yeah, but I really don't want you to do that. And I said, well, you guys want to arrest him, so. And then it happened. He came yelling and screaming. I recorded him with my phone. We tried to ignore, but he wouldn't go away. I finally said, F it, I'm gonna scream and yell at him. My husband said no, but I did it anyway. I went inside the front of his house and gave him the exact treatment he'd given me 6 to 7 months. It took all of 10 seconds for him to respond with violence. He came at me with a 2x4. My husband was still at our house watching from across the street. He saw this and he rushed over. He physically brought with him the grass area, not the concrete driveway, and the guy bopped him on the head with the 2x4. So my husband wrestled him to the ground. I picked up the 2x4. When my husband had him pinned down and looked at him, I told him to stop winging with my wife and went home. I followed him with the weapon in my hand. A neighbor called the cops. Long story short, a-hole was arrested, finally. Apparently, he had a ton of pending charges, all of which he never went to court. Only spent 6 days in jail, but those were all previous charges. He hit my husband over the head, and that was an assault with a deadly weapon. It turns out he had a ton of pending charges way before this incident. You just said that, ma'am. Did he hit you on top of that too? Because you're not making sense. He had to deal with those. Now he has another battery charge and a petty theft that he pled not guilty to from a few years ago. He has to go to AA. He's on probation for a year, and he hasn't been charged yet for the assault with a deadly weapon. Life's been peaceful and quiet. He sees us and turns and walks away. Something he should have been doing all along. I know he's on probation, so it's only a matter of time before he gets drunk again. If he's drunk, I'm gonna get his ass arrested for violating his probation. He's been on his best behavior. It's amazing how people can behave when they're not drunk. Isn't that crazy? All it took was for me giving his treatment back for 10 waning seconds, and he couldn't handle that. I've been dealing with it for 7 months, and it's not over yet. They finally held him accountable for everything before, and there's more to come. It's been nice and quiet around here. Maxim Bean says the police really failed you in this situation. I have no idea what world any police department would say he's allowed to have a knife. LOL. Sweet Glitter answers, honestly, he's allowed to have a knife. Response is insane when he literally chased someone with it. There's a massive difference between owning a knife and threatening people with one. Exactly. Pretty Moonbeam answers, yeah, that response from the cops is honestly ridiculous. Owning a knife legally and pulling one on people during harassment are obviously not the same thing. Curious Maxima says, yeah, you can have a knife, but you can't brandish a knife to threaten people with it. Rick says, former police dispatcher here, seeing this really pisses me off. I've seen lazy cops refuse to arrest someone who has blatant charges, even with irrefutable evidence from the complainant. Kicking the can down the road only makes matters as this grow to a state that you described or worse. Anyone reading this should be followed the same OP did with the police who refused to act. Please consider the following. 1, call the police department in an initial complaint. If the responding officer refuses to act, politely ask for their name. If you don't get it, no big deal. They are assigned to the incident, and the computer in the dispatch has that info. 2, after the officer leaves, call the police department for the OIC, which is the officer in charge, usually a sergeant, explain your concerns. 3, if that does not work, go over the charge to the lieutenant or captain. 4, you might have to escalate this to the major or deputy or to the chief. If that doesn't garner the results, time to go to the town manager or your elected officials. This is town/city council. Elected officials don't like it when constituents threaten to vote against them. Also, you can go to the media. Media loves this stuff. Lastly, and this is for a certain subset of those departments who are CALEA accredited agencies. Every accredited agency must renew every 3 years. They have a time on site inspectors review the department's police policies, reports, etc. That's the time if you really want to make an impact. You can notice the CALEA reps who are highly unbiased and from other agencies across the nation. Let them know what's going on, and they will pull the CAD data and the history. The CALEA inspectors have a phone bank set up at certain times that's usually advertised in your local paper. I worked for 16 years with the PD and never saw the same inspectors twice. I wish LP luck. This situation will devolve if that aggression continues. New Life says if a police station is that corrupted, bring in the state police can help too. This is from Found Satan. I will just play it for you. This guy's been drilling dogs all his whole childhood and has been caught so many times that before you can arrest someone, before they turn 18 in Brazil, has been let go every time. Police finally got him when he turned 18. In Portuguese. I even got him a cake. I hope the cops enjoy that cake. Dremel Teaser says, I mean, the trick is to stop when turning 18. Yes, exactly. Killing You Verbally says, I'm sure he was just doing it for the fun, and after that, no doubt. Not like he might not have had other feasible option. He was clearly in it for the bad bitches and gold rings. Factory Objective said, on top of that, it's not like gangs treated your whole extended family if you want to leave. Edit. Leaving the typo as per requested, but I meant threatened. Of course. Tapioca says you can absolutely arrest someone before 18 in Brazil. They just don't go to regular jail, but to a special facility. I expect the entire caption is made up. Someone else says it's at least 3 years old. So he's 20 now. Happy birthday. July OM and Amalus says, Julio and Amalus says, they probably ate the whole cake in front of them, giving him a single piece. Next, we have Petty Revenge, and it is the title. Karen told 5-year-old she'd be prettier without her glasses. That is some BS, man. Don't tell 5-year-olds that. That's terrible. Like, they already have to wear glasses when practically no one else has to wear them at their age. That's just evil. That's Found Satan. Yesterday I ran across Karen again. Said Karen again. So this story comes back to mind and I thought I'd share it. In Germany, it's quite unusual that daycare is organized by parents' associations mostly. It costs the same as state or church-based daycare, but parents have to contribute as members. Most parents enjoy that, though, because it's quite a nice experience to be able to know other parents rather well, knowing you can trust them with your kids. Yes, that's very nice. My older kids attended a private daycare like that. There were only 20 kids and 3 professionals. I was a board member and got along very well with our board leader, John, and his wife, Rose. Enter Karen. Her name really is one you could translate to Karen into, so I'll leave it that way. She was kind of the mom that demanded things like, these two kids keep getting in fights with my son, so why don't the teachers keep them close to themselves during free playtime in the garden so they cannot hit him? Well, I mean, neither of these kids Neither were these kids that bad, nor was her son an innocent angel. Of course not. They were all just a bunch of kids who didn't have skills to solve their conflicts verbally alone. The teachers were skilled and helped the kids learn that. But of course, they couldn't just permanently hover over Karen's son or the bad kids to prevent any conflicts from happening. I swear if Karen deemed it legal to claim the rowdies to the fence as she demanded it. Daycare boss Janice was getting married, so we parents thought about what kind of a nice gift we could give her. Rose and I had the idea to dress all the kids up as brides and grooms and give Janice a photo book with pictures of them as couples. That sounds adorable. That sounds adorable. I love it. It's silly and it's kind of weird, but it's adorable. So we collected nice suits, white dresses, curtains, flowers, some big picture frames to hold. It was a fashion here in the 2010s to have guests hold an empty picture frame to take photos and set a date to take these pictures when Janice had to spend the day away from the facility to attend a daycare leader event. Rose, who was a hobby photographer, brought her camera and we started getting all the kids dressed up. Enter Karen, who was also a hobby photographer. I felt kind of left out, I think. So she brought her camera too. Unnecessary, but okay, one more person to coordinate the kids. But my daughter had a friend, Lily, that wore glasses. Lily was the only kid with glasses there. Like I said, nobody else had to wear glasses. While dressing up kids, Karen said, "Oh, Lily, let's take down your glasses. You look so much prettier without." Complete douchey 90s mean girl vibes, disguised as well-meaning. Yes, I'm pretty sure Karen actually meant well. As teenagers from the 90s, we all been grown to learn that glasses were a necessary asset, but nothing that enhanced your looks in any way. But still, we all grew up and had the chance to review our teenage fashion convictions, right? Rose and I exchanged looks and spoke up. I told Karen that the glasses belonged to Lily as much as her long dark hair, and assured Lily that the glasses were very nice and she looked pretty with them. But the damage was done. Karen had dissolved stuffed ads into Lily. Poor Lily. Poor Lily doesn't deserve this. Lily flat out refused to put her glasses back on for the photos. With a few years, Rose and I came up with a plan to annoy Karen to the max. Because of the small size of our daycare, we knew the other parents well enough to know their personal opinions. So when we had a lot of bride and groom combinations, most of the kids, we took some bride, groom pics with the kids, including her son and his best buddy. They had just had fun playing marrying their besties. But it was a joy to us to see Karen's face crumble, trying to hold a smile. She didn't photograph these couples with her camera, but that didn't matter because the photo book solely consisted of the data from Rose's camera. Small revenge, yes, but when we told Janice after her honeymoon why we included the same-sex gender pics and how we came to that setup, she laughed a lot. Janice also very fed up with Karen's antics. I'm sure she was, because I would be from the get-go. Deary told a little girl that her glasses aren't pretty. Dang it. Fat Bear is a top-rated comment and said, "I told my niece when somebody says anything like that to her, she should take off their blanket, Lincoln demonstrative at the person and reply with something, huh, outstanding. You look better too if I don't wear them." And she did it just a few times at work, but to be honest, that was around 10 years ago. Later, Ed says, "I'm an adult and I wish I had this response growing up. Since I've had glasses since second grade, I'll be using this now and teaching it to other kids to use glasses with me." For the record, I wear glasses. I just don't on here because I can't see the stupid thing without looking like this. This is how I have to look in order to see my computer screen. It's ridiculous. And don't ask me to read like close up with them on, because that ain't working at all. I don't know if you can hear that at all. If you can, that's my dryer going off. Electric Apple answers, "I'm 70. I've worn glasses since the second grade." After half a lifetime of 4 eyes and blind as a bat comments, I would have loved that response. But I wouldn't be lying because I'm very nearsighted and everything looks blurry to me. Tongo says, "Karen's prettier than I don't wear glasses too when I don't wear glasses too." Yeah. Their top rated comment is from Automatic Citron and says, "Somebody who wears glasses, I find this Karen very offensive. I wish I had glasses growing up. The optometrist I went to growing up never noticed that I needed glasses growing up as a kid. I was always in front of the class because I couldn't see the whiteboard on the back of the class. I didn't get glasses until I was an adult. It helps a lot in college. That's really sad. Next, we have the expectation versus reality. And it is entitled, I found this Walmart gem. Customer review was way too hilarious not to post. And I've seen stuff like this on like sites that specifically are for like TikTok shop and Temu and that. It looks so cuddly and cozy, doesn't it? Like I've seen this exact shot before, and you're gonna flip your lid when you see the results. Yeah, yeah. This is what you get. Did it say how much it was? Why does it not have the price on it? I want to know how much it was. Good thing you have free 30-day returns, because I would be returning that in a flash. That's ridiculous. Every time, people, every time. Distracted by cookies says, promise like a warm hug from a giant cat, actually by being eaten by a giant cat. I wandered, lost, and found says, that sounds more exciting than just being wrapped in a boring blanket with a cat printed on it. Grumpy Oddish says, well, the real cat is understandably suspicious. Distracted Cookies answers, I haven't seen that. I hadn't even seen that cat. I didn't even notice it was a cat. Creme says, I'm laughing way too much at this. Yeah, Walmart's online store can't be just as crappy as Temu because they're allowed third party selling from anyone. Yes. Watch what you buy on Walmart.com. Not all of it is good. There are not good people on there. A gay throwaway answers, third party sellers as consequences been disaster for online shopping. Yes, exactly. Upstairs Emu says, I just went to Walmart website to look for a coffee maker today. It's been a while, and wow, it's literally eBay now. Weird wonky photos that look like they've been taken from somebody's basement products of the products. Names of people selling them like MMMMMXXX, Y, XXXXVVV, and all that. What the wang is going on? It was so bad I thought I was in a scam website by mistake. I will not buy my coffee maker from Walmart online. I will never use the site again. Can't say as I blame you. I've been caught with that. I make sure that when I buy something from Walmart online now, that it's a Walmart product and not a third-party product, because none of the third-party products are good. Optimistic Rich Girl says, nah, that's tough. Puffins are Supreme says, bro got roasted by the product itself. Hello. Please subscribe. Turn on your notifications. Like the video, please. I appreciate it. I appreciate all your work. Tell your friends, family, enemies. Tell the people trying to sell bad products on Walmart.com. I go live right now. It's 3 days a week: Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Wednesdays at 11:30. The other 2 days at noon. That's my spiel for today. Next, we have a real estate, and doesn't have a. This one doesn't have a link. It's a house on woods by an inlet. And why does it not have a link? So I don't call it Zillow Gone Wild, because it's not always Zillow. That looks lovely. I like it. I like all the windows. My house has a lot of windows, so I like windows. It gets hot as heck in the summer, though. Oh, that's lovely. I do like. Nice. Why do we have a skeleton in the closet? I don't even think that's a human skeleton. It has a tail. And human tailbones are not quite that long. What is that a skeleton of, sir? It's not a human skeleton. Not that there's anything wrong with having a skeleton. That's interesting. It has, I should think of my words before I start to talk. Intercom system. One of my friends had an intercom system in one of her houses once. It was great. It worked fantastically. I was surprised the Brady's didn't have one. There are 91 pictures and they only gave us 7. That's a ripoff. That's a tragedy. That's a crime. Pretend Panda says, this is lovely. The house and the setting mesh really beautifully. They do. Second top every comment from Eliana Silvermist says it reminds me of the Twilight House. It kind of does. I agree with that too. The one from the movies, not the one from the books. Ah, here we go. We got it. It's in Annapolis, Maryland. Somebody posted the actual link. Thank you, someone. There they are. A lot of stairs. You can keep your boat right there. That's nice. My in-laws that just bought a boat. I don't like that picture. It's goofy. I don't like it. I'm not sure what to think about this weird differential in the ceiling. Nice fireplace. That's an actual chimney, though. Instead of a stovepipe. Nice kitchen. I don't even mind the gray. At least it's not white. That is a cool kitchen. I want that kitchen. I want that kitchen. I don't know what that is. This is $2.2 million, 4 bedrooms, 3 baths, 2,900 square feet. Yes, I do round. I don't really like the stairs. I just see that as an accident waiting to happen for me. Maybe it's the knee issues. I don't know. Nice. Very, very nice. It's a lovely house. You don't even have the TV above the fireplace. That's great. Oh, a breakfast nook there. You can have your regular meals, and the dining room is used for special meals. I don't have a dining room separate. We have to spell out that it's wine. And it just has corks in it. It's weird. Bedroom with the stovepipe from downstairs. I don't like that at all. Bedroom is open to downstairs, so you hear all that noise all the time? No, no thank you. Absolutely no thank you. Nice office area. That could also be a bedroom. Lovely bathroom. No issues with that at all. No bathroom's a little funky, but funky's okay too. The shower curtain see people pick. That's one shot. I'm confused about the doors. Why is the door open? Why didn't you take that picture with the door closed? I'm not quite sure what this is supposed to be, or where it's supposed to be. It's the side of the garage or something. There's that picture again. Why is there a lock? A hook and eye lock here. It's weird. That's weird too. What is that supposed to be? It looks like it's torture chamber. Not sure. Car here. So much weird stuff over there. Don't even know. Lots of stairs out. Lots of outside staring. Staring, is that a word? Staring, not staring. Stare. Staring. STIRING. Staring. Lots of outside stairs. I like my own words. Stop it. Minimal outside work is always cool. If you ask me. Would you even have to own a mower? Is this the front door? Maybe it's the front door. In that case, I don't like it. That's not very welcoming if that's the front door. Already seen. Neat drone shot. Oh, there's an actual beach nearby. Love it. Yeah, I'll go to the beach every day. Every day. Take my grandboys to the beach. There's no one at the beach, which is kind of strange. It's an Epping Forest. Driver park. Driver park. Okay. So as I said, it's in Annapolis, Maryland. Does that go out to the ocean somehow? Built in 1978. It's on a third of an acre, a little more than a third of an acre. Mid-century waterfront sanctuary above Saltworks Creek. Call that a creek? Around here we call that a river. We also call creeks rivers. It says it's 36,000 square feet of residence. Recently went under renovation. I can't talk today. It's my Monday. From the street side, the home presents a limitless silhouette with a recently 70,000 elevator with ramp that serves as a secondary entrance, servicing 2 out of the 3 levels. Waterside, the home is an expression of blurring line between nature and interior with floor to glass ceilings. 8-foot glass doors. Mostly they spent $920,000 on restorations, including a new pier. It's a gated waterfront community on the Severn River with the beach, water clubhouse, restaurant and bar, tennis and pickle bar, and marina. Or the new marina under construction. Empties out into something over here. Four bedrooms, 3 baths, 3 full baths. All the baths are full baths. I still don't know what that weird thing was at the end there. Recreation room, so 4 bedrooms plus plus the office that could be another bedroom, really. Finished basement, nice. Concrete flooring. Oh, that's in the utility room. Central air, zoned electric. Heat pump, programmable thermostat, zoned electric. Nice, but where are you going to put the solar panels? For solar, it's too much wood, too much shade for solar panels. You get in the kitchen, you get quartz flooring, quartz countertops, flooring, hardwood, heated kitchen, electric cooking, lighting. This is all electric stuff. They don't mention any of the appliances staying. So you have to buy your own appliances. Okay, there's going to have to be a forgiveness for that one. There's not an HOA. How are they paying for that beach? What are the taxes? $11,633 for taxes. Yeah, I can't afford that. It's too much. That's too much of a percentage of my annual income. All right, that was lovely, was it not? Next, we have Am I the Jerk? And is entitled AITJ for not letting neighbors, a-hole kids meet a local NFL player. Maybe. So we have this family in the neighborhood whose dad is a grade A winger. He likes to start arguments in the neighborhood Facebook page, and his kids are spoiled rotten. Not respectful to other adults and children in the neighborhood. Well, I sold the NFL player a couple of cars at the dealership I work at. He and I had a discussion about my kiddo because he saw the photo of my kid wearing his jersey, and we talked about being one of my kiddo's number one favorite players. Turns out he was 15 minutes away from me. He offered to stop by one time, and we set something up, and I invited a couple of neighborhood kid teammates over. The NFL player stopped, and he threw the ball around for about an hour. So neighborhood kids wanted to come over because they play football too. I denied them because them and their dad are bullies. After the NFL player left, the dad came over and told me I was not showing compassion. He said the kids look up to the NFL player and I should have let them come over for the sake that they are kids, and I could have explained meeting an NFL player. Experienced meeting an NFL player. On the one hand, I sympathize with this guy. On the other hand, I think that the kids may have benefited from that. So it's a hard call. Either way, it's a hard call. I'm not saying anybody's the asshole. NTJ. Lisa says NTJ because those kids and their dad were trying to monopolize their time. Impossible You says his actions have consequences. Their family needs to treat people poorly. They can't expect invitations. That's true too. I mean, I completely sympathize with the dad here, but I feel bad for the kids, even though they're jerks. They're learning to be jerks from their dad. That's an issue. Don't teach your kids to be jerks, people. Don't be jerk, and don't teach your kids to be jerks. Little Hippo Unicorn says NTJ actions have consequences, and being jerks led to them not being invited. That being said, be ready for them to continue being bigger jerks because of the slight. Yep, that's true too. It's an escalation. They will escalate it. Signs of the story. Dear parents and prudes, we will be playing unedited hip hop all day today for Wu-Tang Wednesday. Due to the nature of this music, there may be language which may offend you or your kids. Unless, of course, you may take parenting advice from Old Dirty Bastard, in which case Wu-Tang is for the children. Somebody complained about the music at some point. I mean, I just wouldn't go. I wouldn't take my kids. Because I don't think they need to be exposed to that, but I'm not going to deny you that you're right to play it. It's your place. You play what you want. I'll just avoid. That's fine. Well, I'll get along. I'll come some other day when you're not playing Wu-Tang. Joey Kino says, man, the barrel house ain't nothing to wing around with. Late Apricot says they raise hell with the flavor. Hallelujah says, Wu-Tang Wednesday is a midweek day I never knew I needed. Dano Spaceman is their top rate comment. They say, I'm always curious on the pearl clutchers We think drinking around their kids to excess is not negative influence, but hearing a swear word is. Yeah, exactly. I also wouldn't take it. I didn't realize it was a drinking spot. Yeah, I wouldn't take my kids to the bar anyway. So it doesn't matter what music they're playing. I wouldn't be there anyhow with kids. I would go myself, but not with kids. And I don't even drink. So next we have confession is entitled I don't count nuggets at Chick-fil-A because I don't get paid enough. As the title says, I don't get paid enough to individual count during a rush. That's all. We have plenty of chicken. You're welcome. For those insulting my fast food job, I also have two other jobs because living is expensive. Thanks for assuming and tying all my overall worth to being my job. Edit. Apparently, a lot of you are mistaking my post for underselling chicken. In fact, despite popular belief, I oversell fill the containers, but y'all got something to complain about. Well, you weren't specific on that, sir. I don't have a problem with you overdoing the chicken nuggets. Why is this a confession? I get it. I would overdo the nuggets too. Aaron Charm says, "May the chicken be ever in your favor." Second top rated comment is from OK Grapefruit. As long as it's more, my local Popeyes also does not count. Always give me more than ordered. I swear McDonald's has counters. I rarely get it. At least they do now. Back in the day, they didn't. Back in the day, you get an extra every once in a while. Never shorted, always an extra. Senior Les says my McDonald's gave my daughter an extra chicken nugget one day in her kids' meal. She excitedly proceeded to lose her crap about it the whole day and still talks about it weeks after. Don't ask me why an extra chicken nugget had such an impact. The girl's spoiled rotten. Maybe she got it because she's cute. Interesting AF when you're in a bird hide in South Africa and this happens. This does not sound like look like a fun day to me. Why does that guy look like Stephen King? Am I wrong that oh, am I wrong that this guy kind of resembles is that even a guy? That might be a woman. But it's giving me Stephen King vibes. I guess I can close the door, but still, that would be scary as heck. That would be so scary. Ross Deloria says the bird watchers became the watch standard to cat behavior. Meloria's nutsack answers bird watching is cat business. They don't like it when you cut in on their racket. True. Duck Duck Mother Goose says, as a second top rated comment, they say, cat wants to be in the box. Of course it does, because cats love boxes. Dingo of fire. Go of fire? Of ire. Maybe it's of ire, not fire. Fire. Of course it's a box, so of course the cat wants to be in it. Yes, of course. Spiteful God 1 says, so not only are there no recorded human fatalities by wild cheetahs, but they are also social with people repeatedly behaving somewhere between a house cat and a dog, that several ancient cultures kept them as hunting companions. The most notable ones I can remember offhand are the Babylonians and Assyrians. They likely would have been domesticated thousands of years ago, except they are difficult to breed in captivity, which is to say, in terms of large predators to come across in the wild, cheetahs are arguably the safest. Ringnor says, IRC many zoos have cheetahs that end up pairing them with emotional support dogs to keep the cats from getting depressed. That's nice. So cheetah's friendly cat. Cheetah's friendly, dangerous cat. Next we have Am I the A-hole, and it is entitled AITA for ruining a hibachi dinner. Probably. For ruining any dinner, you would be the a-hole, usually. But I'm sure there are mitigating circumstances, so let's find out. I 52 female, my husband 49 male. I've been together for over 20 years. He has been out of work and I pay, but I make enough to keep us going. Last week was rough for me at work. I was initially blamed for something my predecessor did. I got straightened out, but there was a lot of meetings, calls, emails, and I was scared could lose this job. That's terrifying in and of itself. So yeah, that's a rough week. I'm sorry that that happened to you. So Friday night, I just wanted a quiet night at home. My husband wanted to go to his favorite hibachi place. We don't go out to eat much, but I was so tired. He kept pressing and saying, "All you have to do is sit there and eat." So I said, "Okay." So yeah, you shouldn't have gone. You should have sent him by himself. The hibachi place was loud and crowded, but being just the two of us, we didn't wait long and were seated with a boisterous group of six. The chef came out and as he started cooking, he looked at me and asked if I was okay, and I nodded. I said, "Yes, I'm fine, thank you." And he nodded and started bantering with the group of six. A few minutes later, the chef asked if I was okay. I assured him, "Yeah, I'm good." He says, "You don't look like you feel good." I've been told that I have a resting bitch face, so I tried to smile and again said I was fine. When the chef turned back to the group of six, he grinned and looked at me yet, and this time he says, "Are you mad?" And I was taken aback and said, "Nope." He mugged the group of six, and then to me, he said in a comic voice, "Are you sure you're not mad? Are you mad at me?" The group of six chuckled. One of the women in the six said, "Don't worry about her. She's just," here's where I may have been the a hole because I didn't hear what she actually said after that. There was a bunch of burst of noise that, for me, drowned her out. All I know is after finished her sentence, the chef and the group had a hearty laugh while looking at me. Felt so beat up from the week. I was mortified to find myself turning red and tearing up. So I told my husband to box up my food because I'd be waiting in the car for him. I was getting out of my chair when my husband hissed at me and said, "Sit down, stop making a scene." You know, this is the time to be honest and say, "Yeah, I'm not great. I had a rough week. Can you help me? Can you entertain me and help me?" I said, "I'm not going to sit here and be made fun of." My husband said, "No one's making fun of you. Just eat your dinner." I ended up sitting through the rest of the meal at the restaurant. The mood at the table turned very sedate. Well, of course it did, because you had an outburst. Contain yourself. Communication became very hushed voices and gestures. Nobody hung around long after the food was distributed. Pretty much everyone, including myself, just put everything into go boxes and left. In the car, my husband complained that I'd ruined dinner. I asked him what the other woman said, and he said, "Don't worry about her. She's just," and my husband would only say it was nothing. Wasn't anything to get mad about. I kept after him, and he tell me exactly what he said, and finally admitted he hadn't heard her either. But it didn't matter. Wasn't worth me ruining the whole table. AITA. Edit. Since posting, I've commented here and there, but I think most of the comments have gotten lost in the sea of otherwise, frankly, amazing comments. So this, just to add a few things. First and foremost, a human thanks to everyone who read this and offered their perspective. I especially appreciate the reassurances and hugs, but I also value all the NTAs, YTAs, and NHAs and ESHs. There were many perspectives, and it had not occurred to me. I was willing to make myself less happy and a misguided attempt to make my husband more happy, so we both made bad choices that night. I'm not giving up convincing him to try therapy, and in the meantime, I'm continuing my therapy and trying to remember the airplane oxygen mask rule. I have to take care of myself before I can take care of others. Good advice for anyone. Thanks again. I think you were the asshole for going in the first place, to be honest. That doesn't make you a asshole, an asshole. That just means in this circumstance, you should have made a better decision for yourself and others, because those six other people there kind of ruined their night too. You know, it wasn't all about you. There's 3 stars says NTA. Your husband definitely was for insisting going out when despite you. And I know the hibachi chef was just trying to do his job. He could have also read you better and tried not to engage you after you pushed back twice. Or she should have said, "Yeah, I've had a rough week." Honesty is sometimes the best policy. Instead of lying, because you literally lied to him because you weren't okay. You were clearly not okay, and he picked up on it. You could have just said, "I've had a really rough week." And he would have answered, "Maybe I could make your week better. Maybe I can at least make today better." The second top rated comment is from Marion Berry Plus. As NTA, pretty much everyone else in the story sure sucks. You don't know that. Your husband is the worst for insisting you go out. Chef sucks for continuing to harp on the joke when you clearly did not find it funny. The rest of the people suck for joining on the mockery, but they didn't have an obligation to you the way the chef and especially your husband do. Bradley is the last place in the world I would want to go when I'm tired after work. All the forced conversation is not relaxing when you have been dealing with people all week. Maybe a quiet, cozy restaurant, but a place where I have to try to catch shrimp in my mouth and sit with strangers. Ugh. That's when you take enough people that you don't have to sit with strangers. There's enough of us that we rarely have to. Why didn't you go to a Korean barbecue instead? At least that way you're not having to interact with strangers. And you still get the vibe of having that. Third race. Or did 3. Oh, the first one was deleted by the moderator. I don't know what it said. Next, we have Overheard, and it is entitled Zero Sex for 3 Decades. Overheard what looked like twin sisters in frozen food section. Sister, he's 35 years old. Other sister. We'll call them S and OS. Other sister, so S. 35-year-old virgin man, what does that tell you? OS. Literally nothing. That's why you're going on a date with him, so you can get to know him and hopefully understand him, which might lead to his virginity making more sense to you. Sis. I'm gonna cancel. Being a virgin at that age feels like baggage. Like, not to sound mean, but how the wang did he have? 0 sex for 3 decades. OS. Well, to be fair, he was basically a baby for the first decade. And the second decade also. So he's how old? So maybe 15 years of concern, not 30. Sis. And now he's a grown-ass man who needs someone to teach him about the birds and the bees. You know, yeah, you know what? I mean, I actually can't. I'm sorry. OS says, okay, I'll take him. Sis, you suddenly into virgins now? OS, I mean, he's an attractive virgin. Sis, he's still my attractive version. I didn't cancel the date yet. OS, good. I think you should keep it that way. Okay, now you gonna look for gluten-free ice cream. Isn't ice cream basically gluten-free by nature? So many choices. Says this is a shame that other sisters sound like they'd be nicer to date. Exactly. Yeah, poor guy. Picked the wrong twin. Uh, Bella Farrenrod answers, I was thinking the same thing. Uh, Stray shot. I think it's stray shot. There's a 4 in there. Well, the girl thought it was a red flag until her sister said she'd date him instead. Exactly. Bella Farrod answers, reminds me of a friend I had in college in the 80s. We both saw the same funny personal ad, and she said she was going to answer it, but then she didn't. So I said I would, and then she started whining like I was trying to steal a guy she never met. OP answers, virgin guy's value went up as soon as sister said give him to me. Security familiar is the third top rated comment. They say I dated a virgin who was a little older than that and was actually fine. He had some other issues, but that part was okay. I unvirgined him. It's called deflowered, ma'am. OP says my friend who is now 30 was a virgin until he was 28. He struggled for years with body dysmorphic disorder and refused to believe that anyone could ever find him attractive, even though he was not that bad looking. His condition made it impossible for him to have relationships. When he finally managed to become comfortable with his appearance thanks to therapy, he was almost 30-year-old virgin, and most of the women who went on dates with him rejected when he revealed he was still a virgin. It was tough to watch him experience so much rejection when he was still learning to love himself. So I eventually gave him some really bad advice. I told him not to tell the next girl he's a virgin. If it comes up, be honest. However, if it doesn't come up and sex is on the table, just go for it. A week later, he was no longer a virgin. The sex was terrible, according to him, but at least the elephant in the room was eliminated. He's still with the first girl he slept with. She knows everything now. Oh, that's nice. I'm glad. Next, we have Tear Off My Chest, and is entitled, I turned my bike around halfway to a friend's birthday dinner and just went back to work. I have a close group of 5 friends. We all live within a kilometer of each other, and we have this unwritten rule of who the birthday guy pays for dinner. It was my turn recently. I didn't want to spend crazy money. I took them to a solid Punjabi restaurant instead of some expensive pizza place they wanted. How's, how expensive can a pizza place be? They spent the whole night throwing sarcastic comments at me, mocking the place, and basically bullying me for being cheap. I let it go because I thought they were just messing around. Fast forward to today. It's another guy's birthday in the group, and one of my friends calls me and tells me we're going to the literal bottom tier, third class restaurant. And I asked why we were going there, and he straight up said, you took us to a bad place for your birthday, so we're taking you to a bad place so you realize what you did. Then another friend calls and repeats the exact same thing. They were explicitly telling me they wanted to punish me. I felt like garbage. I cut the call and texted the group that I wasn't coming. Instead, they panic and start backpedaling, saying, we're just kidding. We're going to a good pizza place. Please come. I was at the office working late and figured, fine, it's just an hour. I'll go and come back. I got on my back and started driving, but halfway there, it just clicked. Why the hell am I driving to sit at a table with guys who actively plan to disrespect me? Why am I going to force myself to sit through more of their jokes? I literally stopped my bike in the middle of the road, texted the group that I wasn't coming, turned bike around, and drove to my favorite vada pav stall. I ate my vada pav. I don't know what vada pav is. What is the vada pav? VADAPAV. Vegetarian Indian street food from Mumbai. Deep fried potato fritter, Nevada. Seasoned with spice and serves on inside a soft bread bun. So it's a potato burger. It's a potato burger, often called an Indian burger. It's a potato burger. Didn't know potato burgers could be a thing. That seems like a lot of carbs. Tasty, but a lot of carbs. I mean, I'm not dissing it as a food at all. I would eat it. I would try it. I'd try it almost anything once. Maybe not with some of those birds that are still in shell. That like, you know what I'm talking about? They let the embryo like, what do you call it? Gestates for so long in the shell, and then they eat the bird in the shell, half grown, almost full grown actually. They eat it like bones and everything. It's so gross. So gross. My phone started blowing up, and the guys insulted me, called the birthday guy, who honestly didn't say anything of the toxic stuff himself, which sucks for him. I didn't pick up a single one. I just texted that I have to work. I have work to do. It sucks to realizing your childhood friends don't actually respect you. But honestly, sitting alone in my office eating vada pav felt infinitely better than forcing myself to eat pizza with them. Wadanko says, I hate it when this happens. I'm like I'm on a budget, take it or leave it. And then they have the second top rate comment. Also, I think you may reacted here. The initial being offended, saying you were not coming, made your point, and it was completely justified. But then they started to realize they were being crappy people and apologized and tried to make it better for you, and then still be bitter about it. Not money comes seems like an overreaction, especially considering the actual birthday boy wasn't the one who said in the comments. I mean, yeah, but do you want to? He's hanging out with people that are mean. Do you want to hang out with people that are mean? And this one nice person, or not, none of them? Okay, why do people have the exact same comment? That's weird. Silverblade says, you were more than happy to order fancy food when it was their turn to pay, but then you won't let them down to order nice food when it's going to be on your card. Sounds like you took advantage first, and now you're mad that they called you out on it. So I guess he's not getting the love that he thought he was going to. This is an update to I'm 15 and pregnant. So let's see if we can find the original first. This is from pregnant, r/pregnant. I just found out I'm pregnant at 15. I'm very scared. I know this is probably going to be very disorganized and not make a lot of sense, but I'm panicking. I just found out I'm around 6 to 8 weeks pregnant. I'm 15. I'm about to be 16 going into sophomore year. That's too young to have a kid. The dad is definitely my boyfriend. I'm definitely pregnant. I took 3 tests and they were all positive. No one but my older brother, whom I'm really close to, knows yet. I have no idea what to do. I'm scared. We use condoms, but I know I should have been on birth control too. I'm a really good student and a competitive dancer. I had big plans for myself, but this pregnancy is going to ruin them. It doesn't have to. Abortion exists for a reason, and this is a reason that abortion exists. I have type 1 diabetes, and I'm not even sure I can have a healthy pregnancy. Another reason a young kid who has type 1 diabetes and is pregnant should not be having a kid. It's bad for her health. I'm not ready to be a parent, and neither is my boyfriend. My parents are going to kill me. I can't tell them. My mom is a violent alcoholic, and she blames me for everything for being molested as a kid. She's going to be awful about it. I know I need to abort, but it's so sad and scary. If anyone has any advice, please leave it. I'm so scared. Get an abortion, sweetie. There's nothing wrong with it. We need to take the stigma out. I got reamed on Facebook for saying that last week. You just said that with your whole chest. Yes, I did. What are you going to do about it? For the record, I've never had an abortion. I don't even think I've ever miscarried. If I did, I don't know it. So it's not a me thing. But I think of others, and other people are just selfish. Mean Queens is a top rate comment, and she says, are you in a safe state with available resources? You're comfortable sharing where you are located? Not exactly, of course, just governmentally, so we can help provide resources for you. And she's in Texas. Dang. Yahoo Dia says, I was a competitive dancer and had an abortion at 16. I'm now 39, a lawyer who went to an Ivy League law school with a full ride scholarship and married with 3 beautiful, amazing kids. I've never regretted for my abortion for even 1 second. You're going to be okay. Big hugs. I'm also in Texas, so let me know if I can help at all. KK says, look up the anti-network. You have your boyfriend also research what you can do. With the way things are going in Texas, get a secure VPN to mask your IP address. Don't research from your phone. I don't know. That sounds crazy, but still. Hit up a library, take a laptop to a cafe, or use a VPN. Also, identity blocker on your phone before Googling. It might be total overkill, but I'm Canadian. This is all based on what I heard of in Texas. Oh, God, she's in Texas. That makes it 10 times worse. This poor kid. Launchcat says, I saw your post before it was removed on another sub, and I see a comment above that your brother is going to order the pills for you. Oh, thank goodness. So hopefully that means you have seen all the comments where people have posted resources specifically for someone under 18 in North Texas. I just want to add, as a mom who's 43 and was adopted as an infant from a woman who didn't want to be another to allowed, I promise your life is not over, and your dreams are worth pursuing. An accident does not have to derail your life. You are worthy of prioritizing who you are already, have been through so much. I'm so sorry you were abused, and even more sorry that you were blamed. Deserve to experience what life has to offer before making the choice to become a parent or carry or deliver a baby. I know this is so hard, but you will get through it. There's a world waiting for you. Sending love. So I suggested she post on the abortion subreddit. On to the update. I talked to my older brother and my boyfriend, and we all agree abortion was the best option for our situation. My brother is going to order the pills today. My boyfriend and I are really heartbroken over the situation. I know we're making the right decision. I can't afford to sacrifice my future over this pregnancy, and he shouldn't have to. I just feel very guilty for any of this happening in the first place. Don't feel guilty. Don't feel guilty. Guilt means you're doing something wrong. You're not doing anything wrong. You are not doing anything wrong. You are preserving your future, and you deserve it. You deserve a future. You've been through so much already. You definitely deserve a future. Next, we have all no consequences, and it is entitled OOP, the affair partner, is upset that her stepson wants nothing to do with her or his half-siblings. OOP keeps pressing the issue. This is originally from Am I the A-hole? AITA for asking my husband to include our stepchildren when spending time with his estranged son. Yes. I'm a 45-year-old woman who has been married to her husband, Fred, for 20 years. We have 4 children, including my 24-year-old stepson, James. When Fred and I first met, he was still married to James. So you're a homewrecker. Congratulations. He was still married to James's brother, Lily. I like how we're using some of the Harry Potter. Should have just called Fred Severus at this point. We fell in love, we did not do anything physical until after our divorce was final. That makes it all better. That's totally makes you not a homewrecker. I met James when he was 5 years old. Over the almost 20 years I've known him, he has never liked me. Despite my best efforts to build a relationship with him, he has never shown any interest in getting to know me or his siblings. Because you broke up his parents, perhaps? He has every right to be mad at you. Every right. When James was 18, he left the home and would occasionally call and spend time with Fred. He would never do so with me or my children. Recently, I asked Fred to include our children when he spends time with James, but James has not spoken to him since. Now, my mother-in-law, who has always favored Lily over me, has called me and accused me of being the a-hole for hurting James and Fred's relationship even further. Mother-in-law? I like her. She got what's going on. I understand that my request may have hurt James's feelings, but after almost 2 decades of trying to build a relationship with him, I feel like I have exhausted all of our options. He doesn't want a relationship with you, ma'am. Back off. He has a mom. He don't need you. I love my husband and our children, and I want them to feel included and valued in our family. It is not fair for James to exclude them from his life with Fred simply because he has a strained relationship with me. No, it's not it's not fair that you ruined his life. Period. I believe it's important for families to come together and support one another, especially during difficult times. James is not part of your family. James is part of our family, and I want him to know he is welcome to spend time with us, but not at the expense of my children's feelings or our family dynamic. Ma'am, shut up. Your kids would get along fine without James. If you stop harping on it. I understand that James may be hurt, but I hope that he can see our family is important to us and that we all want him to be a part of it. Oh. Very Small Hat says, all those YTA are very cathartic. It was awful read. Traditional fan says it sounded truly like the AP knew what she was doing. She was just tired of the stepchild taking up time from her family now that he's an adult. She knew this would be the last straw and is now playing the victim. She's a right POS. Dad is too. Yes, exactly. I can't wait till James gets married and you're not invited to the wedding, OP. Rogue says, I believe it's important for families to come together, says the woman who wrecked a family. How the hell are these people this thick? You are drunk says, yeah, this is why her family should support one another. Argument rings hollow. Crafty Goddess says either she doesn't own a mirror or refuses to look at one. Not today, Psycho says, but she didn't do anything physical with him until after he was divorced. Rolls eyes. Sure, you shouldn't be classed as a regular saint, but Gamer Girl is the OP that posted this on No Consequence. Third rated comment. Just let me say that for all the kids involved, I honestly wonder, given this information, how much OP might have been pressing her relationship with her stepson. Yes, exactly. Kat says the thing is, no matter what the cheater does in the situation, they win. If the first family refuses to play nice, holds a grudge, the cheaters can play the victim. We couldn't help up to see why he left that family. They're crazy, bitter, vindictive, and punish innocent children. I have been nothing but kind and welcoming. Why are they punishing me? But if they play happy family, well, there is no real harm done was there. The cheating must not have been so reprehensible that the victims can forgive it. Mildly infuriating says, I got my nails done and the guy added the light reflection from my reference photo. Oh, that's funny. This must be the photo that she wanted. Expectation versus reality. Those are cute. That is kind of funny. Oh, there's a line there. What the heck? Oh, is this the reference one? This is the reference one. This is what she got. I don't know. They're not, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. Just don't go to him again. Wrapping flatulence says it's just a little worm guy. No, Alex says it's way too thick and wavy. Yes, the whole thing is way too thick. It was not a good, not good. Okay. Kambasita says, this is one of the most appropriate utilizations of the sub I've ever seen. Bravo. Next, I have Best of Brother updates entitled, I, 24 female, was placed for adoption when I was a few weeks old. My birth mother's attorney contacted me saying my birth mother wants to meet me, but I don't want to meet her. Help. So don't. Simple answer, no thank you. No thank you. This was originally posted where? With r/relationships. I guess there's not much more to say. Basically, my parents adopted me when I was 3 or 4 weeks old. I don't know much about my mom other than the story that she was a teen mom. I know nothing about my bio dad. I've never really been curious or had the desire or to know the story or my bio parents either. Fact of the matter is my adopted parents are my real parents and they raised me my whole life. Half the time my whole life and half the time everyone including me forgets I'm adopted. I forget that my niece is adopted. She's from Korea. None of her parents are Polish. I forget she's adopted sometimes. That's just how it is with adopted children, children adopted into the family. I literally forget that she's not a born member of the family until I see her, and then I'm like, "Oh yeah, you don't quite fit in." She's cute though. I'm now happily married and have a good start to my career. Recently, my attorney representing my birth mother contacted me saying my birth mother very much wants to meet me. To say no, you're allowed to do that. Right. Well, I'm grateful to my birth mother for placing me for adoption and giving me the best parents and brothers, my adopted parents, biological children in the world. I'm not interested in meeting her. I have no animosity toward her at all. As I said, I'm grateful she gave me the best shot at life possible. But she's a stranger to me and I feel no pull, tie, or even curiosity about her. I'm happy with my life and my family, and this just seems like it would disturb that or throw it out of balance somehow. I'm a horrible person for not wanting to meet my birth mother. No, you're not. She gave you up for a reason, and she gave you a good life. I guess you could write her a note and say thanks. I'm feeling really down about it. My husband supports me either way, but he loves me like crazy and isn't the best for unbiased option opinions. I think he is. I think he is the best. Neither my parents nor my brothers know about this, just my husband, because I really don't want to involve them unless absolutely necessary. And what should I say to my birth mom's attorney to make the rejection and let down very kind, easy as possible for my birth mother? I don't want to hurt her, but I do not want to meet her. Say just that. I'm very grateful, thank you, but I'm not interested in disrupting my life at this time. If that changes, I will let you know. Relevant comment is blah da da says, I'm no expert on the subject, but to me it seems like it's your choice. She extended the invitation. You have every right to decline. No is a full sentence. You have every right to just respond and say no, thank you. If you would want to do something about it, maybe take time to write a little bio, a little essay about your childhood, your life, your husband, etc. The lawyer can give it to your birth mom. It might help her curiosity or assuage any guilt she has. I think it's a fair compromise. Since you have no ill will towards your birth mom, it doesn't seem like too much. Good luck. Well, P says, that's definitely something to consider for sure. I asked her attorney if I could please have some time to think about it, and he said take all the time I need. This might definitely be the perfect compromise for both of us. At least she just didn't show up on your doorstep. Uh, I might feel like it says, well, knowing your birth mother doesn't necessarily equal getting to know her or having a relationship with her. You don't have to want that. You don't have to want any of it at all. You're well within your rights to let the lawyer know this. Consider it may be valuable in the future, at least to know who and where she is. Though I mainly consider these things because genetic heritage is something valued to know in cases of health and medical matters, and also because your children may care to know this information or what your ancestry tells them in the future. Knowing where you came from can help over unforeseen ways sometimes. So if you feel inclined, perhaps write a letter to the attorney asking them to know your mother's name and location and contact information. But write another letter to the attorney to forward to your mother saying that at this time you're not ready for a meeting. Say what you have said here, that you are very happy with your life, that you had a great childhood with a loving family, and that you have a promising career ahead of you, and you have a husband who loves you deeply and you him, and maybe all she really needs to know. And say thank you. Say thank you for all of that. Just how the baby she gave up turned out. Did she make the right choice? You may give her a little peace of mind just reaching out with this letter this way. Then at some point in the future, you might change of heart or might want to pass the information down to your own children so they can pursue it on their own. Some things to consider. Oh, P says, this is really good advice. Thank you. Hey, if it gives her peace of mind to know how I had a fantastic life and a bright future ahead, that seems the least I can do for her for the head start she gave me. Edit, wow. I can't believe all the responses. I log on and my inbox is overflowing. While I don't agree with all the responses, I appreciate each and every one of them. I'm still in the process of making up my mind, but I think I know the route I'm going to go on. I will give an update when something happens. Update April 18th, so 12 days later, 2-ish weeks. Just wanted to thank everyone who responded. First of all, I took all of your time to read all your comments and think them through. Shout out to my husband who has been rock and confident through all of this. For anyone who didn't read the original post, blah, blah, blah. I just wanted to give a quick update to let everyone know what happened. I decided to write a little bio about myself. I gave a brief synopsis of my childhood, my parents, my brothers. I wrote about my college major, my degree, my career, my husband, my plans and goals, as well as some hobbies I'd like to do. I also concluded a few photos of me and my husband and family. I also briefly thanked her for giving me a chance at a wonderful life, and I was happy. I said everything to our lawyer and conveyed to him, tell my birth mother that I had thought long and hard about it. I'm just not ready for a meeting or any kind of relationship at this time, that I wanted her to have some takeaway. I also asked that if she had any relevant medical history on her side of the family or if she knew about any health issues my bio had faced, to please let me know, as my husband and I plan on starting a family in the future. Her lawyer got back to me yesterday and said my mother was disappointed. My birth mom was disappointed about not being able to meet me, but she was thrilled and grateful for the bio and pictures I provided her. And it was clear I had been raised well. Obviously, she's going to be disappointed because she didn't want to meet her. But, I mean, life comes with disappointment sometimes. And that she also wanted me to tell me there was no major health issues in her family and the best of her knowledge, none for my birth father. But if anything came up, she could please contact me in the future. I responded that the lawyer is free to reach out to me at any time if she has any relevant information in the future. I purposely said that because I don't want my bio mom just calling me out of the blue one day and possibly trying to harass me into having a relationship. I'd rather do everything through a third legal party. Smart. Very smart. I reiterated again that I don't want a relationship currently. I might be open to it someday, but I doubt it. And they were free to keep my contact information, and I would keep theirs just in case. Why burn bridges unnecessarily? She thanked me, and that was the end of it. I'm happy with my decision. I'm glad I could give my birth mom some closure, that she made the right choice, and happy to be starting my life with my career and my husband. I know this isn't really the typical juicy stuff Reddit likes, but this is what it is. I'm sorry, I like this. This is fine. There's nothing wrong with this. I like it. I just want to let people know who took the time to let me know how it turned out. Thanks. Edit for some grammar. And I also forgot to mention I told my parents and my brother about my birth mom contacting me and told them that I did not want to meet her and I did not want to give her, but I did want to give a quick blog about my life and was worried my family would be hurt or not take it well, but nothing could be further from the truth. Why would they be hurt? They were all super supportive and said they had my back no matter what decision I made, and they would love me no longer what. They are very proud and happy for the choice I made. I'm so grateful to have such an amazing family and be blessed. Small floral prints is the top rated comment, and he says, honestly, OOP putting together that packet about her life for the mom was so kind. I know in my family the person who had to give up a baby for adoption spent decades not knowing if the baby was loved, cared for, or turned out okay. In the end, finding out that the answer was yes, baby was, and not giving them up for adoption made that possible. It was very healing. Not saying that exactly the same here, but kudos for all OP for the thought. Yeah, I agree. Professor Longhair says, I had a surprise cousin show up in my 30s. She was in her 40s. Turns out uncle and aunt got pregnant in high school. She was well taken care of and got a good education. The agency messed up and left her in their hometown. She even went to the same high school as her bio parents, and meeting it ended up great for everyone involved. We get together regularly and often including the mom who raised her. It was honestly wild how she just naturally fit in, and it's been interesting to see the traits which are nature versus nurture. That is always interesting. It's wild what's nature and not nurture that you would think would be nurture. There's obviously plenty of horror stories being the bio family, but everyone and I'm glad our situation worked out. I'm glad too. Skull Seckleton says, my father's going through something similar. He recently learned he has a son long before my brother and I were born and is never told. My family moved away from the moment they found out she was pregnant and adopted him out after he was born. The son has reached out to him and they've been in contact but haven't met yet. He just had a baby and wants time to figure things out. Seeing how this has affected my father's gotten both difficult and heartwarming. I can't imagine how incredibly touched he would be if he got an update like the one OP sent to their bottom mom. Disappointed by thrilled sums it up, but thrilled sums it up very well, I think. That's craziness. All right. Lastly, we have Made Me Smile, and is entitled Like Father, Like Son. Son of a retired YouTuber, Outdoor Boys, has completed her first solo camping trip in Alaska. Outdoor Tom built his own shelter and started his own fire. His dad camped nearby to make sure he was okay. So, just like Lego in our family, these people camp. His top rate comment is, damn, that squint is hereditary apparently, but this is cool as heck. It's funny. That's nice. All right. Okay. Remember, last hair flip of the show for the year. Getting my hair chopped off, I will be a completely different person tomorrow. No, I won't. I'll be the same snarky little bitch. I love all you biddies. Have a good day. Love you all. Bye, biddies. Love you. Bye.